Hey everybody, it's Donna at Camp Freedom. I want to show you what we've been doing around the house. This is the little garden spot around the back side of the house. And it was grown up with weeds like 5 feet tall. I didn't do much with it last year, and so this year I decided I'm going to. This is a fountain Mark in Georgia put for me a few years ago, and a little bed around it. Really haven't done much with it, but I have plans this year. This is the aloe vera plant that my mom resuscitated, and look, it's got little babies all around. So I'm going to repot those, among the million other things I'm going to repot. This tree looking thing is actually some sort of weed, I think. I'm not even sure. But it was so big around at the bottom, I can't even cut it down. So it didn't get weeded. This is the flower that my friend Dana gave me about a week and a half ago. And it stopped flowering now, but it is a bulb. And I'm going to plant it in the yard when I get a really good spot. This is my gardenia, which is my pride and joy. I planted it a few years ago, and it has grown tremendously. This is where I'm going to put this cherry tomato. It's really windy here. You can probably hear it. It's been knocking everything over. Let me show you the rest of what I've been doing. This is a pepper. I think this is a La Bamba jalapeno. So it's going in this pot. I don't know where the pot is going to end up. This is the rest of the little bed area. Things are a mess now, but that is a jasmine vine, and it almost died last year. And then it just bushed out this year like crazy. This is the bed. I've got rosemary. That's a perennial, you know, that'll hang around, so I'm going to keep it there. Then I'm putting parsley in this bed. This little thing here, it has a dead banana peel in it. I tried to throw it out behind the fence. Mark made this. It's a little birdhouse, and then a little perch for the cat. But that was kind of mean, so we were going to put a sign there that said, I don't know, something about a cat eating a bird. But we didn't. This is my Bailey tree. That's been there for about 3 years. It started out really little. There's dill laying on its side. These little pots, like these cement planters, that one, and then that one, I'm going to put flowers this year because I want to put something pretty out here. Mark built these beds on the side of the house several years ago. They've just been awesome. This is garlic. I break some leaves up around it. I've got to mess with that later. And then I'm putting thyme and oregano in here. This back here is actually an asparagus bed. We planted it 4 years ago. I think it may be done for this year. This is one of those that you let grow out. So I saw somewhere on YouTube that it lets it photosynthesize so the plant's better, but we didn't get a lot. I had not paid attention to it, and I cut down a lot of very big stalks this year that aren't edible. You know, you pick them when they're like the size of your finger. Another pepper. These are actually, I think, cayenne peppers. This is what I'm growing to make hot pepper sauce. That's my blue plastic glove on the ground that I was going to use because I was putting out a lot of manure in the garden, but I decided just to use my bare hands, and I did. More peppers are going there. Marigolds will go all around for critter protection. That is 2 extra tomato plants, patio tomatoes, that I don't have a spot for yet. Now, you see, it's pretty messy back here right now because I've been out here for several days digging and I have 6 patio tomatoes in this back bed. It's right under the kitchen window. That open window is where I sit and look out. So I just got these in. I planted these, I dug the hole about a foot deep, and our soil has a lot of clay. So I put peat moss. I mixed it together in this bucket. I dug out the dirt and then I mixed peat moss and cow manure with it. And then I saw on YouTube on Roots and Refuge where she puts an egg in the bottom of the hole and just gives a little tap to crack it and puts the plant in over it. So I have done that and we will see. We're going to see what happens. I have to take this in to add my fish emulsion. It's an organic fertilizer too, and water, so I can water in some stuff I'll show you. That's my peat moss. Then this container, right now it's just catching everything that I'm working with, but it's going to have basil in it. There is another, I think that's a Bush Champion tomato that I have to find a spot for. I have a Bush Champion that I just put in the ground back here. And I got all this landscape fabric down with the staples, the pins that pin it down. And then this slit here is where I have planted cucumbers. I can't remember the name of them right now. They're a vining kind. And this wall here is actually a little garage behind our house. There's a patio above it that we really don't use because it doesn't have a roof on it, so it's hot. But anyway, we're going to be putting fencing along this wall so that the cucumbers can grow up. And I planted 3 of these Better Boys tomatoes that are indeterminate, meaning that if we grow them up fencing or any kind of trellis or support, they will keep growing and producing tomatoes until they say the first frost. This is the first time I've done these. I've been watching about it on YouTube for years. These tomatoes over here are patio tomatoes. That's the actual name of these. A hybrid that's bred. They're only going to get about 2 feet tall, and they bush out. And they're determinate, so they'll only grow so tall, and then they'll produce a certain number of fruit, and then they'll be done. Then along the back of the house, here, the tomatoes. And then this slit is where I planted pole beans. I'm very excited about the pole beans. In fact, I think I still have those. This is what I planted. Kentucky Wonder. And they are organic. I try to grow organically. May not do it perfectly all the time. Oh, and there's Gwen. The wind has knocked over this little... Let me tell you the story. We just got cows for the first time. And we had a mama cow to die. It was a miracle, and I'll tell you the whole story of that sometime, because it truly was. It was horrible and beautiful all at the same time. But anyway, this is Gwen. Hi, Gwen. Look up here. She has the longest eyelashes I've ever seen in my life. She is a beautiful, beautiful 2-week-old Texas Longhorn Angus, Black Angus cross. Now we had to put up this temporary pen behind our house because we are feeding her with a bottle twice a day. And somebody at my church who knows all about cows and is really good with them said we should start increasing it to 3 times a day. But honestly, and I know this sounds bad, but I mean, it's all we can do to get twice a day in with everything else we're doing. So right now we're going to stick with twice a day. They said 3 times a day she would just thrive better, you know. So I am going to try to do that. That's her cooler. I'm not really sure. Oh, we were using that as a seat. So this is the temporary kind of thing. On the other side, we've got fence panels. No, those are gates, actually. But this is what we put together. And so far it's working. She hasn't figured out that she can push it over because she's still little. Now out here, see all the white blooms all around the pond? That is blackberries. Blackberries. As far as the eye can see. Look at that. And then behind the barn, see way off in the distance the barn, the tins come off the roof? That's another project. All along that road, blackberries everywhere. And we finally found out why we have them. We had goats several years ago, and they are awesome gardeners, and they spread with their little goat poop blackberry seeds everywhere. So now we have them everywhere, but they're not in rows. They're just this tangled mass. So I don't really know. Look down there by the pond. I mean, they grow all the way down. So hopefully this year we'll do something. We'll pick some at least. My friend Julie loves blackberries. So this is a sign. That's another story too, but this garden is definitely a festival of faith. So this is kind of appropriate. So I look at the sign as I dig my little holes. It's not a big garden, but you know, it's been a lot of work, and I used to try to do so much bigger. I mean, we have this huge garden plot, and we tried to do it before we really knew what we were doing, and we got overwhelmed. And we were just overrun by weeds and pests, and we're growing organically, and we lost all our potatoes. And so, excuse me, honestly, we lost heart for a few years. You know, we didn't want to grow anything. We didn't think we could. And we have been just, you know, wanting to, ever since we moved here 8 years ago, about 8.5 years ago now. I mean, this place is gorgeous. But we had to learn that just because you own farmland does not make you a farmer. You actually have to learn these skills. So that's what we're trying to do now, is scale it down, do something manageable. You know, try to get some wins. Just grow something. I was, you know, I had watched way too many videos, and I had myself as this pioneer woman. I made soap, and I made clothes detergent. Oh, so many things. Until I realized that wasn't who I am. So we're learning. There's Mark coming up in the golf cart. That's a farm vehicle for us. He has been cleaning out the garage area, and it's looking awesome. There's Otto. He's my helper. After I dug the holes today and I put the compost, not compost, the peat moss in there, he dug it all up. Didn't you? He's my helper. Say hello. Say hi. Otto, say hey. Are you itching? So, that's my progress so far. I'm documenting it. I got more soon. I'll show you. Bye.